Hey guys, welcome to another video. This is the Punisher NYOA in Harpursville, New York. My name is Ryder Sigety. I'm a 4-time national GNCC champion and a part of the factory support Yamaha Ampro off-road team. And off to a great start, first in my class, and this was a really muddy one. As you guys saw from the intro, it's just gonna be a long race of mud. So muddy that almost half the people in the race did 1 or less laps, and I was able to do 4 laps barely. It took a lot longer than expected, but we'll get into that later in the video. This is about one of the 3 dry straightaways on the whole track, so off to a good start. I'm feeling like the track isn't even going to be that muddy. I'm just riding, and then you're going to see in a second where I will be mistakenly wrong, and it's going to get pretty muddy. But the camera barely does justice at all to show you how bad it does get. But it's definitely a tiring one, and I saw a lot of people with bike problems, blown up bikes, overheating, just on the side of the track, because just from the heat themselves and from the bike.
Hi, this is Ryder's dad Mike, and if for some reason you're doubting that this is going to be a really tough race, just to give you a heads up, they started the race with the average lap times being about 30 minutes for the pros, so they figured it'd be a 4-lap race, and it still took 2 hours and 47 minutes to do 4 laps, because for Ryder, right? And even the pros were well over 2 hours, because the course just started to deteriorate. And though we really like the NYOA series, there's a lot of really cool things going on here. They actually run 2 races at the same time all day long. They run quads and dirt bikes at the same time on different courses, so how they manage that is pretty impressive. And it's all done on Sunday. And it's funny because the last time we were here was last year when Ryder was on at 85, and like kind of the same thing happened at some of the races where like almost half the field did 1 lap or less. And it's not the promoter's fault. You know, all these races are based in like the New York State area, and it's just that type of dirt. Like it could be hero dirt or it could be hell.
Right there, you just saw there was an option for a bypass, or where I'm going, which is like the harder, more extreme way. But they blocked off the harder way about halfway into the race, and the way around the hard way was so much harder. I mean, every lap I was taking the like extreme way. I forget what they called it. It was like an extreme section way, and they called it like a big valley. And you just go down this little hill, where when you had to go around, you had to ride on like the edge of a cliff, so you didn't have to go down the hill. I thought it was so much easier to go on the hard way.
So years ago, the GNCC series used to come to the NYOA series at least once, if not twice a year. And this is in Harpursville where the GNCC series used to come. And I've asked some of the people who run the GNCC how come they don't come to New York. And they said they'd love to, they just don't have the parking. And I really didn't quite understand that until today. Ryder, why don't you show people what the parking situation looked like a little bit? People were getting stuck. This is in the morning before the race, actually, all those people getting towed. It was so bad that I decided to just park on the road outside the racetrack, and ironically, a lot of people were doing that, and we were lucky enough to park next to 2 of the fastest guys ever. Dominic Morse and Toby Cleveland ended up parking right next to us. So I was like, all right, they probably know what's going on and how difficult it is to get in there, too.
So I don't know if you guys saw, but just like Rattlesnake Enduro last weekend, and if you guys haven't watched that video, check it out. There was a couple of times here where the mud would be bad, or you're trying to make a pass, and you'd be riding in these ferns, and it gets a little sketchy sometimes. Here's one of those sections where you could take a bypass or go the easy way. So I go the hard way, and then there's somebody stuck in the easy line of the hard way. So I take like a line that I barely made it up, and then of course the second I got up, he was already going, and I would have been fine taking his line, but I didn't want to wait any longer, especially since this is still first lap, and I want everything to like kind of spread out. I'm just trying to get away from the people in my class as fast as possible, and yeah.
So just to give you another little fact here on how difficult the race was, only 17 people made the 4th lap total. Of those 17 people that made the 4th lap, only 7 were not AA riders. As you saw, that rider just fell, and that kind of demonstrates really how slick it was. Like, sometimes when you're watching motocross or supercross, you're like, oh, that looks like kind of fun. I could probably do that, even though I think that, even though I know there's no way I can do that. And just like these courses, oh, this looks fast, like easy, I'm going to go. But it was really, really tough.
I just want to show you guys again. I come around this next corner, and the rider in front of me just stops. And I wasn't paying attention. I almost hit him. I don't know if you guys could hear me say whoa or whatever I said, but I like barely got out of the way. Here, this mud is so much harder than it looks to ride through. I was trying to ride with my feet on the pegs, and I just could not get the hang of it. It was so much harder than it appeared at the beginning of the section, and then I just felt terrible after I would finish the section, knowing that I did so bad at it.
That looks like some gnarly stuff, like you're almost making your own lines through there. That's pretty cool though, in a way.
Yeah, I've found that at like a lot of the NYOAs, there's definitely a lot of your own lines that you can make. Right here, I see somebody stuck, and then I see someone almost get stuck. So I probably wasted a little time, but definitely less time than if I got stuck. And I went all the way around the outside there, and just kind of played it safe. But you see the rider's already completely out of my view. So I guess that sucks. Right here is my dad at the top of this hill, and just cheering me on. That's actually where we'll pit next lap. But I don't know if you guys just saw that. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you get a little notification each time I post a video, and you guys can check it out.
So maybe somebody who's watching this video who's more familiar with NYOA can let me know if I'm correct in saying this, but I kind of thought NYOA was getting more like 500 racers per race. And one thing that NYOA does that no other series we've done, another thing they do that's really unusual, besides running two races at the same time, quads at one time and dirt bikes at the other, they also run all the A, B, and C riders together. So they have, I think, 27 rows on the line at the same time, which is really unusual. And so it's been said that sometimes the last row is just about or even getting lapped when the first row comes through. But this particular race, they only did everyone 30 seconds apart versus a minute, so that wasn't going to happen. And one interesting thing is Ryder used to start like on the 24th row. Like last year, he used to race like a 105. And he would be like the 24th, 25th row, but in schoolboy, right? Now he moved up to the B200 class, and you start on, I thought it was row 10, but actually it, I think, is row 13. So that's still pretty good. Ryder on lap 1 moved his way. Ooh.
Right here, I got to take a line around the rider that was stuck. Obviously, there was a couple more locks than I anticipated. Like I was talking about earlier, going through the ferns, sometimes there's stuff that you just don't see. And I don't know if you guys also noticed, the second I went out into the ferns, the rider that I was trying to get around that got stuck, just completely got out of it fine if I just waited another second. But instead I was impatient, and now my handlebars are a little twisted maybe, and I'm just all out of sorts now, and I have to catch back up. And I hurt my knee a little bit, but it'll be fine. It's just a bruise.
So, Ryder, let's go over the results a little bit. On lap 1, he was 17th overall. On lap 2, 13th overall. On lap 3, 12th overall. And lap 4, 10th overall. And that's where you finished 10th overall. And that is was good enough for a first in class. The turnout was so I was saying the turnout was a little lower at this event. It was 262. And at first I thought it might have had something to do with the weather, because they were saying on the internet that the parking lot is flooded, everyone's being towed in, everyone's getting stuck. And even if you can deal with all that, and if you don't care about your motorhome or your trailer or your van getting stuck, which a lot of people do, I'm sure a lot of people thought the course was going to be really tough too, which it was. I mean, these people aren't just hanging out because they're tired. This is super early in the race. I mean, they are tired, but it's not like because they've been racing all day tired. It's just that tough. But there was a lot of racing going on this day. Besides this NYOA event, there was a D6 hare scramble, a D4 enduro, an ECA hare scramble. I'm sorry, an ECA enduro, not hare scramble. Look at all these people stuck. That's crazy. They're all just kind of going really slow or stuck. And this is going to sound really odd, but if you haven't heard of it, it's called the Hancock Dual Sport. It gets like 650 people, and a lot of those people are serious racers. And I used to think dual sports were kind of boring, but not the Hancock one. It's legit. So all that stuff going on definitely led to a lower turnout. And oh my God, I might have said this twice already. My memory is terrible. But only 121 out of those 260 people, or 262 I think it was, only 121 people, they made one lap or less. And then I thought if you didn't do at least half of the leader amount of laps, you were considered a DNF. That would mean half the race almost DNF'd again. But the way they show it in the results, that if you do one lap, you're not a DNF.
So as far as results go for the day, I finished in 10th overall on lap 4, and that was my position. And then the top 3 overall was Dominic Morse, Toby Cleveland, and then Kenny Held as far as the podium. And only 7 riders were able to make the last lap that weren't AA riders. So I thought that was crazy that many people didn't make it. Here, I slip out, fall, and I hit the same spot in my knee again, which definitely didn't feel good. But the bike didn't stall, and I was back up and riding in a second. It's just, it's going to be sore tomorrow, I can tell you that.
So normally we will go a day or two before the race and check out the course and pedal it. But this time we decided just to go in the van in the morning. And honestly, I'm not even sure we would have had the opportunity to pedal the course. It was really muddy. But this is really unusual for us to not see the course other than the first time being on the bike. Now, if you're old school like I am, years ago, nobody got to see the course. You got there, you went there on your bike, and you rode it for the first time. But now, I don't know if you know this, everybody has to pedal. Everyone, I should say everyone, most everyone who's taking it seriously pedals the courses. But when they get this money, I guess you can't do that anyway.
So right here, you're going to see me make a little mistake. And it's things like this that'll just wear you out in a race, especially when it gets to be longer than it should. I mean, a bunch of those mistakes, and you're putting your foot down, maybe the bike almost tips over. And the bike is an extra 50, 60 pounds right now from all the mud too. And I feel like a lot of people, that's what tires them out. It's not always the riding, it's just all those little mistakes that are really hard. Right here, this guy splashed my goggles pretty nice. That was, I mean, he didn't mean to, obviously. Andy let me go. But my goggles definitely did not like him.
So, oh, guys, if you could please subscribe, like, oh, here's our pit stop.
Yeah, so I want to thank Vince Caramana and obviously my dad on the left for pitting for me. And I was able to kind of put on a new set of goggles. I think I got a ton of dirt in them when I was doing it that I had to clean out as I was riding, but it's all right. And pretty fast pit if I could just start the bike sometime soon. And then we get out of there and we're back on the course.
So when you left the pit, I was kind of upset with myself. I'm like, I can't believe I just filled his tank to the top. Like, why did I do that? We didn't need to do that. It's only a 4-lap race. Your first lap was like a half hour. Now you got 3.5 or 3.2 gallons. That was way too much. Little did I know you'd be running almost 3 hours. I'm like, glad I did that now. So one reason I wanted to take Ryder to this race is because he hasn't really done a mud run yet on the 125. Basically his first season racing a big bike. So I figured, this is going to be muddier than some of the other races. Let's see how he does. Ryder. One thing I also didn't count on was racing for 3 hours. And normally we have a different protocol at GNCC with our calorie and food and hammer nutrition and stuff. And we didn't do any of that. We're like, oh yeah, 4 laps. Look, it looks good. Oh, the guy's stuck in them. I hate that. And also, like, some of the areas that we saw before the race started didn't look at all like the rest of this course did, and I had no idea it was going to be so brutal. But Ryder, what was your first experience racing a mud event on the 125 like?
Definitely could have gone a lot worse. I was actually thinking halfway through the day, I was like, this is just like my old YZ65 days, like the Mountaineer YZ65 days, where I would be where I'd just be in these huge mud pileups and stuff, and I'd just be trying to get through it. And now the 125 is starting to really fit me. Obviously, I'm stuck right here. Not the best spot to be me saying how I got through it. This is the only time I get stuck all day. But it's just, I felt like I was back on my YZ85 and YZ65, and I just had a great time on the 125 here. And I don't think I would have liked this. Actually, maybe I would have liked this Super Mini here. I'm not sure which bike would have been the best. But I definitely got to get used to a big bike in the mud sometimes. So this was a good place to do it, because this race really isn't important to us, really. We're not racing the NYOA series. I don't even think we gain points from it because we are just a day membership. So right here, I go what looks to be the right direction. I take a good line to the left, cut off the little inside of the tree. I'm riding. I was like, what is this guy stopped in the middle of the track for? Why is he looking backwards? And then I'm looking around. I'm like, this doesn't look like the course. So I turn around pretty fast, hoping that there's nobody coming on for a head-on collision. I'm on the way back, and somebody almost hits me. I got a little scared here, but I was able to get back on the track, and now we are going the right way again. Just a minimal detour. But I bet a lot of people made that mistake, because I saw people make that mistakes in laps before. But for some reason, I just still made it anyway. And here you're going to listen to me thinking that I'm helping the person in front of me.
Go, you got it, you got it. You got it, dude, go.
Yeah, I was trying to get him to go, and he was probably trying his best, so I feel kind of bad. But he just kind of sat there for not really too long, maybe a second or two. But I was in race mode at this time, so I don't know what was going through my head. I had to make sure that he was out of my way. So when we do a GNCC, I always use a different battery pack, like an external battery pack for my GoPro, so it lasts the whole time. But since this race was supposed to be only 2 hours, I didn't use it, and the GoPro died at around exactly 2 hours, and the race was 2 hours and 45 minutes. So I don't have a video of the finish, but we are getting towards the end of the video soon. I just want to explain. Kind of cuts off like halfway through lap 3 or lap 2, I guess. But I was able to get most of the key parts, which is good. But it just got worse and worse. I mean, I don't think I got all the really bad muddy spots, but in the laps after the GoPro stopped recording, I stopped and talked to the kid in my class, Jack Whalen, who was running in second, and his bike blew up. And I saw him on the side of the course. I was like, what happened? He's like, I don't know. I think my bike blew up. I just stopped here. And then I don't know what happened there. But it was just a long, long race. And I also wanted to say it was cool to race with a bunch of my friends here at the NYOA. I haven't raced in NYOA in a long time. Like Nolan Schleffer and Keith Hughes and
hang out with your dad, right? Hey, I don't think I said this yet, so if you could please comment on this video, that would be a great way to support the channel if you're still here. And if you went to this race, are we crazy or was it really that hard? Let me know what you thought. Alright guys, enjoy the last couple seconds of the video. Please subscribe and like the channel, and see you at the next one.
See you guys. Thank you. Bye.